Hello! Welcome to the weekly Wednesday lunchtime live stream here on twitch.tv/DDO stream, youtube.com/DungeonsandDragons/live, and facebook.com/DDO Unlimited. Really appreciate you being here. I am Community Manager Cordovan, and man, I ate so much candy last night that all my facial hair fell off. Not really. But, yes, I am officially defacialified due to Night Revel, or not Night yes, due to Night Revels. No, due to Movember, which kicked off today, going through the month of November, raising money for colorectal cancer research, prostate cancer research, support groups, things like that. All sorts of good causes. Trying to decide what, if anything, I should take for my level 27 feat. I'm kind of thinking, I mean, blinding speed's kind of the easy one. Yeah, alright. Hard to go wrong with blinding speed. Alright, there we go. Let's see actually where I'm sitting on my Sharati. I've got 9 points available. Perhaps I should spend a few little bit of time getting things ready in Sharati here, huh? So how you doing? Appreciate everyone being here. It's moteam.co/team-DDO. See, I'm not really a ranged character, but I'm just leveling up this destiny so I can do it. Good enough. Can't hurt to have Healing Spring. Comes in handy every now and then. We're going to be doing Night Revels.
I turned it off because of the Discord, and I think I got it again.
Yeah, I'm hearing you just fine. Happy Movember, cool. Everybody. Hope last night was a good Halloween for everybody. I had a pretty good time. I actually did a little live streaming on my personal channel. Watched some spooky movies. Continued to read Usher's Passing, a Robert McKinnon novel that I actually had never read, but it was recommended to me. Gotta say, it was pretty good so far. Looks like I need to clean out just a little bit of inventory space. So, there we go. moteam.co/team-DDO. Yes, Druid's Fire Halloween at Disneyland. That'll work. Yeah, I gotta go with blinding speed. It's hard not to go with blinding speed, especially on, say, a melee character or something like that, but you know. It's kind of a fire and forget sort of feat, which is nice. I really do need to take care of my inventory in that. I'm kind of my inventory is sort of a disaster right now, but that's okay. No longer need haste. There we go. You know, people sometimes ask what I'd like to see from Lotro get to DDO and vice versa. I'll tell you, one of the things that I'd like to see DDO get from Lotro is a button to consolidate your inventory. You could just sort of open this up, click a button, and everything would sort of just squish together to maximize space. Wouldn't that be nice? I find it very useful for kind of quick inventory sorting over in that game. Oh, someone didn't want their pet rock certificate. Fine, I'll take it. Okay, let's talk about this beard situation. Yeah, I know, right? So, I don't normally go beardless It just isn't the greatest look for me. But, you know. Doing it for a good cause. Movember, raising money for, like, colorectal cancer research support programs, things like that, so. That's why I do it. I do this every year. This will actually be the 5th year that I've raised money for Movember in DDO, and every year has gone quite well. And I hear, you know, as to why I keep doing it, I hear from people in our community, in the Dungeons & Dragons online community, who have been affected by these cancers, either themselves or through loved ones. And they remind me the kind of good that this actually does. You know, hey, I got through colon cancer, for example, or, you know, my dad passed away just recently from a cancer, that sort of thing, and these support programs and that sort of thing that this funds make a big difference. So that's why, you know, I mean, my ego might be like, I don't look so good without a beard, and I wear it for 1 month every year. I look kind of ugly even though I'm on the live stream and such. But you know what, it doesn't really matter. It's a tiny little price to pay for the kind of good we do. I thought I'd maybe just kind of do a circle of all the various Night Revels events here. Might as well start with Under New Ravagement. I'm on Wayfinder. This will be the final week on Wayfinder. So, let me break a little news here. This is tentative news in that it might not happen. But if everything continues to stay on track as it does at 12:09 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday, next week we are trying to get out our first Lamania preview of Update 37. Our first Lamania preview of Mists of Ravenloft. So, I have to be careful here in these coming weeks because I'm not sure how spoilery I should be on the show. I tend to go for less spoilery on the live stream here, or then do a specific preview. But if y'all really want to see the dungeons, I could do that on Lamania next week, perhaps. So anyway, stay tuned for more specific information. We have, you know, things that we need to get done first, up to and including, you know, some sign-offs and things like that. We don't even have a Lamania candidate build quite done yet, but that's the plan, is next week to have our very first preview of Lamania, of Ravenloft. So that is pretty cool. Hopefully that all works out. This is the final weekend for the Night Revels event on basically all the servers except for the 2 that had to get restarted at that one point. I think we're going to try to extend. I have to talk to ops and everything to make sure it's okay. But I think we're just going to keep it going until the next bonus kicks in on Thursday for Argo and Orion? Can't remember what we committed to. At least it was Argo and Orion, wasn't it? Yeah. So anyway, that's the plan. And depending on how you feel about the performance that we've been able to get in Night Revels, that's either a good or bad thing, I suppose. Overall, I will be sad to see it go, but this is your final weekend to get your stuff in. Remember that the ingredients are not savable. Anything that you purchase from the DDO store is. So say lasting Night Revels keys, you know, those drinks, things like that. All that stuff isn't going to expire. And none of the items you get will expire for the most part, except for those clickies have the potential to expire maybe by the end of the year. But like the regular ingredients that you get from running Night Revels this weekend and that, spend them. And that's part of the reason why we have fairly low-cost chocolate-only things like summons and that sort of thing. so that you can go ahead and kind of use up the last of your stuff. So the most you're going to be out is less than 20 chocolates. Maybe a handful of other ingredients, you know, specific black apples and that sort of thing, if you didn't kind of work ahead towards your items. But at the very least, spend down those chocolates, get a couple of summons. You never know when it might come in handy. Excuse me.
A mummy and its servants drop from the roof. The creature hisses.
So, that's what's going on. One of the things we are continuing to look into, and this really, you know, it's something that we've been looking into for a while now, is this kind of stutter step lag report thing that we've been hearing from some people about. It's been a little difficult pinpointing what's going on, in part because of the separate sort of performance issues that we've been working through with Night Revels. So, at the very least, it would be expected that once Night Revels is turned off and all that, we're going to have a little bit better sense of what's left to do, what do we need to work on, and maybe help us identify the cause a little more concretely. That said, I posted on a forum thread about it, I guess it was last night, late yesterday afternoon, something like that. And we've gotten some good feedback on that, but in particular what I'd really like to know is, outside of the quote Night Revels lag, what is this hitching thing? And can we identify what's causing it? So far we have not been able to successfully repro it. As you can see right now, I'm not experiencing it on this character, right? So, you know. You know, we've been hearing these reports that we believe, you know, it's not that we don't think it's going on or anything, but we just haven't been able to nail it down as to maybe what specifically could be causing it, you know. Like I say, you look at the live stream here today, and you'll notice, I suspect, that it ain't showing up. Unless it is, and I'm just not seeing it. In which case, please, let me know. And one of the things that we've been hearing most specifically is that this began after Update 36 Patch 2, but before Night Revels turned on, which is why we don't think this is a Night Revels specific thing. Although we did target a separate issue impacting Night Revels. Yeah, it's sort of reported as like a couple second just everything freezes, or most everything freezes, except sometimes mobs and that. And so what we'd really love to get is, if you've got a beefy computer and you're experiencing this, get us video. Download, you know, Bandicam or Fraps or whatever free kind of programming. I guess even Windows will do that now. Steam will too. And get us a 30-second video of it. If you can capture that, that would be very helpful, because it would let the engineers in that probably look at it and go, oh, okay, this is probably what I should be looking into. Because like I say, our environment is showing fine. And we haven't yet clearly been able to identify like a specific action or enhancement or things like that. So help us out if you can. Yeah, XSplit will do it. Might we have a challenge ingredients reward bonus this weekend in honor of Night Revels? That's a good question. I don't think it is a challenge reward boost. Sorry. I can look into that, but... That's true, King Cosmo. The new armor is simply a recolored version of last year's armor. It was just one of those things. It was easy to do. We thought people would like it. And, you know, some people do. But you're right, if you were looking for some kind of, you know, specifically fancy armor that was dramatically different from last year, this ain't the one for you. Let's see. You can see it on some of your streams. Yeah, I mean, So, Backlagor, go ahead and capture a highlight of that and get me the URL so I can send it to the team. You know, it's not a matter of necessarily me seeing it, although I have to admit I've not been seeing it when I've been playing on Atlantis. At least I don't think so. But, it's a matter of getting something that I can show to the engineering team in that. So, get a highlight of it for me, please. It's true, this is the weekend where we lose an hour. Or gain an hour. This is the good weekend. We get an extra hour of sleep. Any news on Black Friday deals? Sorry, we will not be announcing our Black Friday deals until the week of Black Friday. Maybe even that Wednesday itself. That's just the way it goes. I mean, what we suspect is that either it's tied to a class, a race, an activated ability, you know, I mean, it could be one of a bunch of different things, right? Alright, Hayward up next. But being able to see video of it will help a lot. Any news on sentient weapons? All I can really say is I happen to know that Sev is working on them, like, today. I don't think they're going to be in for that first preview of Update 37. My understanding, at least what we're targeting for next week's Lamania preview, is some but not all of the quests. I think I saw something like maybe 6-ish, 6 to 8-ish of the quests. Some of the itemization. Just kind of various changes.
There have been rumors of strange things stirring within the now abandoned Haywire Foundry. Yet all seems quiet here now.
Anyway, so that's what's up. But we'll see kind of what the end result ends up being. So I have heard that we are close. So what we're doing for Menace of the Underdark and Shadowfill is essentially killing two birds with one stone here. Where we're not just bringing it back to the DDO market, but we're finally doing the work it's going to take to offer it again in the DDO store. And how that's going to be done is by completely redesigning the account granting system that underlies the whole thing. You know, right now, it's a little techie, a little inside baseball, but when you purchase Menace of the Underdark, you get, like, a key that you apply to your account. And that key says, alright, you get, you know, this content pack, this iconic, this bundle of whatever, but it doesn't give you separate keys for all of those things. It's one master key hooked up to the various grants. And the problem we ran into is that if you already had a piece of that, like let's say you had purchased Epic Destinies or something like that in the past, you would have a separate key that would be applied to your account, saying you have Epic Destinies. So when you try to apply the Menace of the Underdark key, it would say, I can't give you this, you already have Epic Destinies. So if you had a piece of what it was already trying to grant, it would reject the key, which is why ultimately we pulled it from the DDO market and all that sort of thing. And we had to pull it from the DDO store because the new, well, not new anymore, but the most recent version of the DDO store does not support multiple grants, multiple bundling. So what we're doing instead is we're kind of having set up for the DDO store, which is like a master key that grants a bunch of sub-keys. So when you purchase it from the DDO store, instead of awarding one thing, it awards you, like, I don't know, a handful of things or something like that. Or it awards a key thing. I'm not actually sure how the process works. But on the account side as well, we've done the tech work to basically do for Menace of the Underdark and Shadowfell the way we set it up for Ravenloft, which is really a more modern, elegant account grant system that works with our current store tech. It's my understanding is it's in the middle of key generation and testing and things like that. So if all goes well, the hope is that that would be ready in time for the holidays. But I don't know for sure. I mean, ultimately, I will know when you do, because someone will come to me and say, "Yup, we're back," and I will let the world know. It's a process that involves not just us, but external partners and things like that. I would need to get in an engineer to explain the differences, because I don't actually know how it all works. But no, Ravenloft is somehow not one master key, but rather it's like a keychain or something like that. All I know is it works, and Matu and Shadowfell don't. So, there you go. If you have an old Matu key, you should be able to apply it to your account, and if you run into an issue, like say where it says you've already, digital good already purchased or whatever, get in touch with account support, and they will manually grant you the XPAC. And that's through help.standingstonegames.com. Alright. Are we going to do some UI work? For more than a year now, I'm gaming on 4K screens, and some things like bars and the mouse could be a lot bigger. It's not on our agenda, but we know it's something we need to do. It will be a very significant project to update our UI, our 2003 era UI, to a 4K modern system and all that. Probably add scaling, all this sort of thing. It's going to be a huge project. But someday we probably may need to do it. Is there a way to display helmets in game? Yes. The only people it won't display on is Dragonborn. So if you have a non-Dragonborn, see this little thing on the paper doll? You can just toggle the visibility of that. And there's that cosmetic helm slot here as well. Is Movember a shave your beard mustache or grow a beard mustache? It is shave off all your facial hair at the start of the month and then grow only a mustache through the month of November to raise awareness and generally money for the Movember Foundation, which distributes donations to all sorts of different groups. They're actually very transparent about how much is spent on administration, who gets what they funded exactly, with links to all these pages and all their spreadsheets and all the rest. So it's very nice, and you can just find that on Movember.com. Keep an eye out on the forums. As soon as I get a chance today, I'm going to be making the formal announcement. I just haven't had time yet today to formally kick things off. So it's kind of a soft launch, as it were. But we'll have some incentives similar to what we've, well, pretty much exactly what we've done in previous years for donations. Can we let users mod the UI? Unfortunately not. We no longer support any of the kind of UI scaling or Lua scripting or any of that kind of thing. We have no API for DDO. No public API for DDO. And we'll probably never have one. I thought it was an intern kid for a second. That's funny. I know, right? Someone was saying that my sister looks just like me on Facebook today. It's pretty funny. Are you aware of the banker bug? The banker often closes window after a few seconds. Happens a lot from cargo holds and airships. I've seen that happen. It will close automatically if you close an element of the UI. So for example, if you open it all up and then close your TR cache or whatever, it'll close. And that's by design. Well, that's by forced design thanks to exploiters. But that is a deliberate change. Additionally, if you walk away from it or something like that, it'll close. I'm not sure that I've really just seen it just randomly shut off, though. I suppose it could be, and I just didn't notice. Or maybe it happens, it's happened so long I just stopped paying attention. That could be, too. I will get to the weekend bonus in just a little bit here, when I get a minute. It does if you try to interact too quick with the bank and you have a lot of stuff while it's loading. Yeah, that would make sense. And again, that would be an anti-exploit behavior. I will try to keep an eye out on this it opens and then closes right away thing. Maybe I'll even try to repro it here on the stream here in a sec. Because I've not opened the account bank yet on this server, so we'll see if it happens. You know, sometimes you play DDO for so long that you're actually seeing a bug and you just don't see it because you're not paying attention. It just is just something that you've ingrained into your experience or what have you, you know? Well, could well be that that's what I'm seeing. I just don't even notice. But yeah, we do have, you know...
behavior too. Usually it happens when you interact with a bank for the first time once you log in.
Yeah, I'll try to check into that. Like I say, I haven't actually opened my account bank yet on the server today, so I'll give it a shot, see what happens. Unfortunately, there's a whole bunch of kind of anti-exploit behavior that is a pain in the butt that we really don't have a choice on, because Is it intentional moving the Night Revels candy ingredients into the shared bank shows them as stale degraded? If it's a bug, why has it not been fixed yet? I do not believe it is working as intended, although I suppose it is technically doing what it's supposed to do. And that if it's in the account bank, it doesn't have really a timestamp per se, so it's pulling the wrong name. As to why it's not fixed, because it really doesn't... It doesn't really do anything. You know, it's just a display error. Once you pull it out of your bank, it shows up again just regular, so... I agree, though. We should, you know, at some point we should fix it, because it's a bit of a freak-out moment. We're like, my stuff! But it doesn't actually have any impact on your ingredients. So Montu is going to be in the DDO store for when? We'll let you know. The intention is to bring it back to both the DDO store and the DDO market in the relatively near future. But I can't be more specific than that, because ultimately it's going to be, you know, when all the work is done to get it back, and then people let me know, yep, we're good. I don't have an ETA. The intention, I believe, is to get it in time for the holidays. So backlink art, you shouldn't be able to delete them, because in order to delete them you would need to put them into your inventory, and when you put them into your inventory they'll return to their proper name. So the only thing you should be able to delete, unless I'm thinking incorrectly, is the stuff that's actually expired. Unless you're just not paying attention to what it's called when you delete it. If you haven't seen it yet, we did post up some new wallpapers, screenshots of Ravenloft. We sort of did our own, using kind of game assets, our own take on the classic i6 module cover, with Strahd, you know, with hand over the heart, standing on the balcony of Castle Ravenloft. And we got that out, I guess it was Friday or whatever, and you can find a link to that both on the forums, DDO.com, and the launcher, that sort of thing. So if you're looking for a cool desktop, frankly I think they turned out really good. So if you're looking for a cool desktop image, kind of to celebrate Ravenloft, maybe you'd want to take a look at that. What renderer do our artists use? I believe they largely use Maya. And then we have an internal world builder. What's the reasoning for the bound account status of Revels weapons gear? I mentioned this on, I guess it was Friday and last Wednesday, but I'll do it again. There's two things going on. One, Night Revels gear has a very low cost. And one of the reasons we're able to offer a low cost on this stuff is because it's bound to character. if you have a reward that once earned once, you never have to earn again on that server because you can trade it from alt to alt to alt, it tends to have a higher ingredient price than a bound to character item, which you would have to re-earn on any character you wanted to get that item on. So part of the reason you can get an item in like 35-40 minutes is because we keep the cost low, and part of the design decision to keep that cost low was to make it bound to character. However, there is also a practical matter, which is that this stuff dates back to the old Maybar event. It probably just never got changed. So a combination of a couple different things. And not all of it is bound to character. Some of it is bound to account. It's just the old stuff, the old Maybar stuff is still bound to character. See, I didn't find that there was a ton of grinding. I mean, man, I've been getting an item about every, like I said, about every 35-40 minutes. If you dedicate yourself just to a cycle through, I find it really easy to get Night Revels gear. I mean, yeah, you gotta earn it up, you know, by level gating and all that, which a little bit of a pain, but it's really not too bad. IMO.
Thanks.
Yeah, so like 60 mats each, you know, that's 3 quick runs of Snitch. So how quickly can you, let's just say like you need to run Under New Ravagement 3 times, you could do that in about 10 minutes. You know, Snitch and the Lich maybe 10-15. You know, so let's say you do that 4 times. Okay, maybe about an hour per item, which is really what the design goal was about an item every hour, hour and a half, depending on your speed and skill level and all the rest. But it's pretty easy to get 60, and that's not even running at max level there, because you can do, what, 3 levels over and get 20 ingredients? And so to get 60, that would be it. So like if you're level 11, you going on 14, I believe, you get 20 ingredients as an end reward. Yeah, I still have Mummy Rot. I don't care. Eventually I'll die, and then it'll go away. We don't really need to worry about these archers. We could just run past them. Did we leave a soul stone behind? Nope. Okay. Yes. Alright, cool. Yeah, someone reporting getting 15 of each material every 7 to 8 minutes. Yeah, that's... So yeah, you're looking at about, 45 for an item. What is next after Ravenloft? Good question. I can't say. But I happen to know that those conversations are literally happening in this week. They started late last week, you know, discussions with licensors and the dev team and executives and what have you in terms of kind of 2018 outlook and plans and all that, so. I have heard things that might be very cool if that's what we end up doing. Nice, Elizabeth over on Facebook. I assume that big project is a writing project. Best of luck on a successful novel or whatever it is. So an item can be gotten in less than 15 minutes with running. That's true. Yeah. Yeah, you can actually, if you really care, I mean, we're kind of taking the lazy route here, but if you want to just sort of min-max your way through this, totally do that. Ah! There we go. There goes my mummy rot. Yeah, I just can't. I can't. I'm sorry. Because anything at this point, it hasn't been approved by licensors, it hasn't been approved by the dev team, and it hasn't been approved by, say, Sev or anybody, really. It's really just kind of, wouldn't it be cool if, maybe we should, could we, you know, all that sort of thing. So it's still way too early to get people excited about something that might, for one of a million different reasons, just totally not happen. But I've heard the name of what may end up being our next classic pack. Why not add sages for Reaper XP? I assume you mean sagas for Reaper XP? Probably that would just be a matter of we don't want people running sagas to farm Reaper XP. Now, Reaper XP is an optional system that you're supposed to get long term. I mean, I suppose we could theoretically. Yeah, I mean, we could. Theoretically. At this point, I hate to say it, King Cosmo, he asked basically about the Travelarium. The Travelarium, as far as I'm aware, is basically a dead idea. So I don't think we really have any real plans to do anything with that space. Yeah, so, I mean, we would definitely have to change the Saga tech to add a new tier, because right now, you know, you've got normal, hard, elite, true elite. You know, with the ability to skip as VIP and pay astral shards to skip and all the rest. We would need to add a new tier called Reaper, which would mark how it's done on Reaper. I imagine that would involve some additional hookups as well, because my understanding is behind the scenes it really procs a lot off Elite, so it would need to somehow recognize the difference between Elite and Reaper. But none of that seems impossible to do if there was enough interest on the part of a dev to do it. I mean, who knows, right? Maybe someone will get a bug on the Travelarium and it'll come back, but like I said, at this point I haven't heard of any plans to do anything with it. How was my Halloween? My Halloween was great. I miss not having my son with me. You know, he was dressed like a pirate and at his mom's house, and that was a bummer. It's no fun. Long distance, what have you. But other than that, it was very cool. So. After Ravenloft is not update 39, it would be update 38. Ravenloft is update 37. Let's skip Resurrection Chamber just because we got like 10 minutes left and move on over to Snitch and Lich. Yeah, that's fine. Haverdash is fine. We have a request to do Haverdashed instead. That's fine with me. I wonder which one that is. Yeah, Resurrection Chamber's not too bad, especially once you get the hang of just hopping from jet to jet. But we can get a couple runs of Haverdash done in the same amount of time. I personally, I mean, I know that some people would really like to see mounts, and I'm not opposed to the idea or anything. But I tend to fall on the side of we really don't need mounts.
Is it a vampire or is it a mimic right now? Because of the mirror.
I don't really see that we'd have any real use for mounts. It would kind of help a little bit in some wilderness areas, but
sound of ravenous groans. presence from behind the door sets your nerves on edge.
No, Titan. You will never get your Sonic Rune Arm. Never! Actually, a Sonic Rune Arm would be nice. It would probably be the only Rune Arm anyone would ever use, ever again. But it would be a nice Rune Arm. No doubt about that.
Desiccated corpses collapse with a sickening thud.
My understanding on the Bottle of Mist, this comes over on the YouTube chat, is we are not intending to offer that Bottle of Mist outside of the Ultimate Fan Bundle. So that means no unlock for favor on getting to Ravenloft. That said, unlike with Evening Star, it should be pretty easy to get to Ravenloft, because you can just go through. We'll go out for Lindalay instead.
Lindalay has been slain.
Will there be something that is like Epic Destinies with Menace of the Underdark planned for Ravenloft, making it critical to get? No. We're not adding a new, like, Epic Destiny system for Ravenloft. I think, frankly, Ravenloft, once people see it and that, are going to be very excited. Well, okay, so let me say this. Maybe actually dial that back a little bit. I think depending on your interpretation of it, sentient weapons might well be that Epic Destiny-like system that you're talking about. Can the Bottle of Mist be a favor reward? It could, but we're not going to. Yes, the level cap will remain 30. I don't understand what you mean, Thimble. Will there not be a beta test for Ravenloft? Will it only be tested through Lamania? It will be tested through Lamania, and that is our public preview server. So depending how you want to interpret it, that is a beta test. Except I think legally we're not allowed to use the word beta because we're not paying you. Yes, I believe the Bottle of Mist is just going to be a deliverable on every character when you create the character. What level are the Ravenloft dungeons? I think it's around 10 and around 30. Luca Rosa, I don't know that I can quantify how sentient weapons compare to legendary weapons in Lotro. I think in some ways they're similar and in some ways they're different. I guess rather than try to explain that now, wait till we preview sentient weapons on Lamania and you'll kind of get a better sense of what's all back. Oh, you lost the stream on YouTube? Bummer. Will everyone get to preview it on Ravenloft or just the people who purchase it? Everybody. It is going to be a public preview of Update 37. My understanding is that we're not doing a closed beta or anything like that for Ravenloft. If you purchased the Ultimate Fan Bundle already, when will the bottles be delivered? They will be delivered when Update 37 is released. And the current plan for that is, as publicly stated on the page, December 5th. Sentient weapons will be level 30 endgame, correct? They will be endgame. I think it's level 30? I think 28 or 30? I'm not sure. But yes, it is intended to be an endgame system. When will Ravenloft be on our Lamania public preview server? Hopefully, starting next week. We're working to get a build out there to do that. When will we be disclosing information about that next starter level tier 3, like vet status 3? Later. Sorry, I just can't talk about it now. Is the returning throwing beer mug coming with Ravenloft? No, unfortunately, not that I'm aware of. I still very much agree that we need to bring it, though. I wish. Oh yeah, this weekend's bonus, let me call that up. See what we have going on here. It's not August. Oh. Hey, I got good news for peeps. I lied. We have got two things going on this weekend. One is a VIP XP boost of 10%, and the other one is a 20% challenge rewards boost. Starts late Thursday, runs through Sunday. Remember, this is the final weekend for Night Revels, so we are going to get a 20% challenge rewards boost this weekend. Ooh, also looks like if that holds true, we have a pretty cool free coupon this week, too. So yeah, challenge rewards boost, and a VIP XP boost. My understanding is that it does apply to Night Revels. I think that's always been the case. Yep. That's what happens when I answer this question before doing the Chronicle. Normally I know what the bonus is because I put it in the Chronicle when I'm writing the Chronicle, but I got delayed yesterday and didn't get the Chronicle put together, so there you go. Yeah. When does the Champion Hunter week come back? I'm not sure. We had one within the last couple months. Will sentient weapons be available outside of Ravenloft? My understanding is not, at least initially. This is intended to be our sort of endgame system here in Ravenloft. Potentially in the future we could expand it. But it's debuting with Ravenloft. Gen Con 2018, if I can, I would love to go to Gen Con next year. We'll kind of have to see what their schedule is like and what my schedule is like and all that sort of thing. Yeah, it's going to be a good weekend to get that last stuff. Get your keys now, huh? Yeah. Alright. That's going to wrap it up then with the live stream here. For those folks in my group here, I will get you a code for 500 DDO points later on this afternoon. Really appreciate you joining me here. Next week, I'm going to be either on Arganessen, starting at the top of the list again, or I might be on Lamania, depending on what the community's interest is in me showing off some Ravenlofty things. I don't know. I don't know if I want to spoil it. So I'd be curious in the coming days. Just PM me on the forums or something if you feel strongly one way or the other that you want me to be showing off some Ravenloft things, or if you want to not see that on the live stream. So, alright. Thank you very much for watching. If you give us a follow on Twitch, you'll be notified for when we go live with shows just like this one. Later on this afternoon, we have DDO as she is played. Subscribe to us on YouTube to get these videos in your subscription feed, and like us on Facebook to not only get our Facebook Live videos, but all the other stuff that we post on Facebook as well. I will be back on Friday for Friday afternoon. That too will be probably on Wayfinder, and probably more Night Revels. Thanks very much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon. Have fun.